All right, and welcome back to The Light, Black Sci-Fi, and AtlanticCityFocus.com. I am here at the Fan Expo 2025 at the Pennsylvania Convention Center, and I ran up on Stephanie Williams, who has brought the character Nubia back to the forefront. She also has written for Marvel, one of my favorite titles, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. So what I'd like you to do is introduce yourself and talk about your process for reviving Nubia.
Yeah, so I like comic writing wasn't my first career. I was a electron microscopist before this, so kind of into research science and clinical science, which didn't really help with Moon Girl. But Nubia was one of my first big comic gigs, and the process there was to make her a character that did not need. Like her value shouldn't rely on her proximity to Diana, because when she was first introduced, it was as Diana's twin sister. So people often know her as the Black Wonder Woman or kind of like Diana 2.0. So I wanted to do something that would make her stand out, and it wasn't a thing of one is better than the other, because they're all Amazons and they're all amazing. So I went back, pretty much read George Perez's entire run of Wonder Woman, Greg Rucka, all the Wonder Woman I could read. I read it. Even read some stuff that wasn't comic book related. So Madeline Miller's Cersei. I think I randomly watched Spartan. What is the Zack Snyder film? 300, Troy. But just really trying to immerse myself into just kind of Greek mythology and find out a way to one, reintroduce people to the Amazons and Life of Themyscira, but also to make you care about those women so that you actually care about Nubia being queen of them, and to kind of show this Black woman who is an Amazon and queen and very strong, but also show that there's times when she's vulnerable, she doesn't always have the answers, and she relies on the sisterhood that is on Themyscira, as Diana does as well. So I like the scene, and I think that it worked out, because she has not gone back on the shelf since I've, written the Nubia stories. I'm actually currently working on new stuff for her. So it was just how do I make this character relevant to today? Yeah.
Thank you. And what was actually, how did you get the gig? Did they contact you, or did you reach out to them?
So they actually reached out to me. So the week that my first pro gig with Marvel came out, it was for Marvel Voices Legacy. It's a heritage book. I wrote a 2-page Monica Rambeau story. The week that came out, the editor from DC reached out to me and asked me, did I like Wonder Woman? I was like, I absolutely love Wonder Woman. So we kind of talked. She had read an article that I wrote about the Dora Milaje and their evolution from comics to the movies. And for me, the Dora Milaje have always had similarities to the Amazons. So she thought I would be a good fit. And I did a 8-page short story in Wonder Woman Black and Gold featuring Nubia and Diana, and I guess that was kind of like my tryout. And from there, I learned that I was going to be working with Vita Ayala on the Nubia and the Amazon series, and it was kind of like off to the races since then.
What would your advice be to young comic book writers who want to get into the industry, or especially young writers of color?
I always preach this. It's not sexy, but consistency is key. You want to show, one, you want to have work out there that people can find. Some of my comic gigs I've gotten haven't even been related to the actual comics that I wrote. Have been articles or just newsletters and things like that. But I also would put out work for a writer. It's a little bit more difficult because you don't have the art, but to make things a little bit more cost effective and not so burdensome to the artist, I started with 1-page comics. So think about your funnies and your shorts that you see in a Sunday paper. That was kind of like my approach to it. So it was consistent with that, because you want to show that you can meet deadlines, and the only way to really do that is to continuously put out work. So Let's say you have a short story that you want to tell, you're putting out something, even if it's once a month, that is still showing that you're meeting deadlines that you're setting for yourself. So consistency is key. Be a student of the craft. You can never not stop learning. I'm still learning stuff even as I do this. But yeah, like, write the thing. Even if your first draft is ugly, it is supposed to be ugly. Like, no one can know how amazing you are through you telling them, especially if you're a writer. You got to actually have something to show for it. So do your thing.
Anything you want to add before I let you go?
No, it's just that I hope whatever you make brings you joy. At the very end of the day, being a storyteller, a creator in general, is to put things out into the world that you want to see. Like the great Toni Morrison once said, that's something that I abide by. And I think that, there are no new stories under the sun, but we all have unique voices. So even if you think your thing is closely related to something else, doesn't matter. You are the storyteller, and you're going to tell it different than anybody else can.
How can people find you on social?
You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads at Steph_I_Will. You can also go to my website, www.whystuff.com. That's WHYSTEPH.com. And yeah, I'm around. I'm always posting stuff. And I have a newsletter that you can also subscribe to. If you go to my Instagram, you'll find that link in the bio.